Today is Wednesday, Parashah Vayehi. The Parashah of this week is full of berachot, full of blessings, many blessings that Yaakov gives first to the children of Yosef, to Ephraim and Menashe, then gives berachot to each one of the tribes. When he blesses Ephraim and Menashe, he gives precedence to Ephraim with his right hand, even though Ephraim is the younger one. And with his left hand, he blesses Menashe. And the reason for that is that while Ephraim was more dedicated to spirituality, Menashe, while being also committed to his Jewish identity and mitzvot, but he was more involved in the mundane world in the palace. He was involved in the political world of Egypt, and that idea of giving more precedence to the younger one because of his spirituality, he used to learn with Yaakov Avinu. Then that shows us where the emphasis should be put in a person's life. Of course, we're all involved in work and activities, but number one is Torah, mitzvot, spirituality. And the second part, which is the work that we have to do and other activities that we're involved in, should take a second spot just behind the spiritual pursuits of a person in Torah and mitzvot. And actually, when he blesses them, one of the things that Yaakov says, Becha yivarech Yisrael lemor, Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chim Nashe. And he says, through you shall Israel, which means the Jewish people, when you want to bless your children, when you want to bless people, you should say, may God make you like Ephraim and like Menashe. What was so special about Ephraim and Menashe? Many things. Number one, even though the younger one is the one blessed with more importance, so to speak, with the right hand, we don't see any jealousy there. Menashe tacitly accepts the idea that Ephraim deserves more kavod. No jealousy there, no fighting between brothers, chas v'shalom, was all good. Then number two, even though they lived in the galut, in Egypt, they lived outside of the land of Israel, and they lived amongst the nation of the Egyptians. They were the only Jewish people there, Yosef and his children, just his family. Still, they were very steadfast to their Jewish identity. So we also bless our children that no matter where they are, that they should be very committed to what it means to be Jewish and committed to Torah and mitzvot. Also, the idea that they were both very successful. They were raised to the status of a tribe, even though they were Yaakov's grandchildren, that we bless our children, that they should be always successful in everything that they do, just like Yosef, Ephraim, and Menashe were successful, and that they were very accomplished, that people saw that blessing, that they should be like Ephraim and like Menashe. By the way, for the girls, we say, Yesimcha Elokim Kesara Rivka Rachel Veleah, that they should be like our matriarchs in terms of their values, in terms of their characters, traits, etc. And Yaakov blesses all these tribes, but rather than giving them a general blessing for all of them, which he could have, he blesses each one individually and particularly with the essence that tribe represents. In other words, every one of his children had unique qualities different than the others, than the other children. And this is a very important aspect in educating our children, to realize that they're not all made from the same mold. They may have grown in the same house, the same parents, and in general been exposed to the same household, but each one of them will have certain very specific qualities that are only unique to that person. Hashem created the world so that there is not even two people, even twins that are identical twins, would have differences in terms of their characters, their interests, and their persona. Their essence has a little bit of difference from one to the other, even though they're both twins and identical twins. So here, he blesses each one of them, highlighting their unique quality. Yehuda, of course, is the leadership. From him will come the kings, David HaMelech and the Davidic dynasty. that there'll be leaders. That's a quality that a person would have as a leader. Some people are followers and some people are leaders. Yehuda is the leader. Zebulun is the businessman who goes faraway lands to do business. Not everybody is made for that, etc., etc. So each one has a quality that is highlighted, and it's a blessing to know what is your natural inclination for you to excel in it. Even Shimon and Levi, when it would seem to be on the surface that he's rebuking them rather than giving them a blessing, yes, he says how they have a violent nature, but knowing that a person has that kind of energy can be directed and channeled positively. At least you know that that's what your inclination is. You know how to use it properly. And we see it. Esav and David HaMelech were both called Admoni, which means red. You know, red, they were both red-headed or red. The red it sort of like expresses the idea of energy, strong energy. Now it can be directed either negatively like Esav or positively like David HaMelech. So even so, Shimon and Levi, by him giving them a blessing which sort of like indicates what is their tendency, then it's in a way a blessing to know that you have that tendency, and that the way to channel it in the positive direction could create wonderful things. So this is some of the ideas associated with the parasha of this week. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.